Hi, Chris Kuzmal here again. We're going to now start implementing the actual bucket sort. So we re-maximize this screen here. The AI assist is going to give us things which may or may not make us happy. We will have a set of buckets that we want. That's actually true. How many buckets we want is perfectly reasonable for it to be the length of the array. And so that's lovely, except for one detail. We don't want each of our buckets to be a double. We want each of our buckets to be a list of some kind. Oops, it allowed me to reject it before I really wanted it to reject. So we'll go, and again, I will accept it by hitting tab. But I need to go in and change double here. I need it to be an array. Each of the elements of this well, it could be an array. It could be an array. I'm sorry. It can be an array. But each of the elements of the array is itself a list, okay, of doubles. I don't know why the AI just can't figure out what I'm doing now. Okay, so this is an array of lists. Each list contains doubles. So that's so a bucket, in other words, is an array list of doubles. And so this is an array of that. And we can't have a new double of array length anymore. It's going to be a new array of array lists of doubles. Okay, and so that's a reasonable set of buckets. Okay, now the assist wants to find the maximum value in my array, but we are actually going to assume, and that it helps to know that that's what the assist wants, but we're going to assume ARR values, elements, are in the range from 0 to 1. Okay, and now it's going to iterate through the array. That's absolutely right. It wants to create a new array list for bucket element number I. That's sort of the right thing. And actually, I just noticed that I misspelled array list. I made it an a list up here. So let's go and fix that up. We do need to initialize the buckets in the array list. And so another thing we want to do, I guess we could do it down here just as it was actually kind of suggesting. And we'll take that suggestion and we'll finish that loop because we need to establish our buckets first. Oh, look, it then anticipates that we're going to want to put elements into buckets. I believe, oops. I believe it. And it's completely right to want to create another iteration, another loop that has an idiomatic iteration of from I equals 0 to array length. The bucket index is indeed going to be the array length times ARR of I. And so it is correctly inferred that what's going on with the code now. And then the bucket at that index is going to add element, the value at I in array. So this code is correct on line 50 as well. And now I'm pretty much happy. I don't know why it's putting the comment there. I think that this is basically following formalization in reverse code. The next thing we're going to want to do is sort each element of the bucket list. And so we're going to finish this loop and then see if it suggests, oh, yep, indeed, it knows to sort the buckets. Oops. I'm slightly concerned about this int j equals 0 business. But yeah, I'm happy with sort buckets. And I don't know what it's up to. What I want to do is I want to just iterate through the buckets and for each one sort it. But let's see what the AI does. Is sorting the buckets by setting j equal to 0 is that does not sort the buckets, does it? So we'll give the AI another chance here. Let's delete everything, hit enter, hit tab. Oh, now it's okay. It's iterating through each of the buckets. That's that's what we expect. And now it's calling the sort method from the collections library. Okay, that's fine. That's actually accurate. And the cool thing is we might at some point want to come up with our own sorting algorithm. After all, this is a sorting algorithm. But the thing is that sorting each bucket is a perfectly reasonable thing to do, and it's good for us to see that. Now, it wants to add elements back into retval. That's reasonable at this point, because when we're doing the ith bucket, all the elements in that bucket are going to be smaller than elements in successive buckets, and so we iterate through the buckets. Let's through bucket I we iterate. That's absolutely right, and place each successive element of the ith bucket into retval. Now the problem here is retval of j is it's I don't think that's quite going to get what we want. Let's see what the AI comes up with though. Oh my God, we don't want to print retval. This is no. We don't want to do that. What we're trying to do is concatenate the results of our sort. So I'm not at all content with this code here. So we'll get rid of it. We're just going to be content with having sorted each of the buckets. And then we need to concatenate the buckets into retval. Oh, so maybe it can figure this out. And so it sets a retval index of 0. Okay, that seems reasonable. We do want to iterate through the buckets. That's right. And we want to add elements from buckets into retval. And so indeed, we're going to iterate through the buckets just as it says here. That's right. And that's what its own comment says. I'm a little anxious about it saying add buckets to retval, but yes, wait a minute. Yeah, and we're going to iterate through buckets of I. That's what this inner loop does. That's correct. And then retval index gets buckets of I at location j, and then we increment retval index. And so indeed, retval index does get incremented every time we put a new value into retval, and buckets, every element of buckets gets put into retval. So that actually seems like it's correct. So I'm going to close that out and close that out, and this creates our loop that does indeed concatenate the buckets together. So interestingly, the AI was able to figure that out when I said that. I mean, it's exactly from Corbin-Lisenson and Revest, and so it's not exactly surprising. This is not precisely the code, but you would expect after 40 years, the AI would be able to figure out what the code would be. So it looks like the code might run. We'll see. Let's restore the window and see whether it passes our one test. It's unhappy because it cannot find the array list symbol. That's because we have not imported array lists. Okay, it's ironic that the AI can figure out that it might want to import scanner. But the AI doesn't seem to be able to figure out that we should import array list, even though it uses the array list. Um, so actually, it's strange that I have to type this in, even though the scanner, well, sorry, even though the AI knew that to use an array list. And now we get an interesting error. Oh, we also have collections. Error generic array creation. Oh, I might. Well, I'll have to address that in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and import our collections. Java util.collections, perhaps. Yes, it has. There's a collections library that we have to import as well. And now we'll run. And we may end up hung up on this interesting bug where it's saying there's a generic array creation on line 44, and I'm not quite sure what the problem is. I've been trying to avoid this kind of issue, but the type will have an array list of an array of array lists of doubles. Okay, and looks like here I have an array list of doubles. An array lists of doubles that sure looks like it's the right thing, but it seems to be, but it's unhappy for some reason. So I'll have to think about this, and we'll come back to you.